Croeso. Jonah, welcome welcome to the first podcast. Pleased to have you on, mate.
Thanks very much, Scott. It's a pleasure to be on you, son. Pleasure to be on you.
Good. So if we look at straight away, if we look at the last week football, I'm sure you've been watching the games Tuesday, Wednesday night. What do you think of them? Man City first.
Oh, Man City. Well, what a way to start. They could just be about the best thing, I think, at present since Real Madrid were in their pomp about 6 years ago. They're really playing well now, aren't they? You wouldn't want to be playing against them, Scott.
Great to watch, great coach. Nice to see him get through to a final with obviously Man City. He's done it before, obviously, but with Man City, I think that was his ambition, wasn't it? That was the owner's ambition and stuff. And then Chelsea last night could have been 4 or 5, couldn't it? Really good. Great performance.
Yeah, fantastic performance by him. I think obviously he's come in instead of Lampard. He's made 1 or 2 changes. I think he's a bit stricter by the look of it. With his players, and it's the modern game. You've got to have it. It seems like you've got to have the all-round game. But when you've got pace in that forward line like that, Werner and Havertz, they can run, can't they? And I think they might pose a problem. I see City winning it, I think.
Yeah.
But I think they've beaten them once this season already, haven't they? So it would be very, very interesting.
Absolutely. Really good. I think all English final. Looking forward to it. So if we look at the last few weeks, the Welsh Premier, we go to the Welsh Premier now. I'll put you on the spot. Who's going to win the league?
Well, it's gone down to the wire. I don't mind being put on the spot. It was, I think at the start of the season, I would have gone for your team because I thought it was an unbelievable, last season, Connors Key having to keep going. I thought you might have, worn them down, but they kept going. And this season, again, I'm quite surprised, to be honest. I'm quite surprised. And with it being down to 2 games, if you're 2 points clear, I think you're the favourite. Simple as that. I see TNS winning their 2 games, but I also see Connors Key winning their 2 games. And hey, listen, any managers watching, I'm not trying to put any pressure on you, okay? But this is where it all happens, mate. You've got to get over the line. You've been over the line, okay?
Yeah.
So you've got to get over the line, and that's what the game's all about. So, the bridesmaids get forgotten rather quickly, don't they?
That's right. It's interesting, really good, to be out of it for being it for such a long time, but then be out of it and watching it. It's it's good to watch. It's very, very close. It's been really, really interesting to watch what's been going on, really. So,
well, obviously, Scott, from our point of view, from my point of view as a fan, I'm working for Scott. It's great to have a contest. I know you being a TNS player for like 20 years and a manager, and it's great to keep winning and winning and winning, but it's such a bonus, right, for teams to be challenging. And for if teams challenge a team of that caliber, the league will only improve. And I think that's what's happened.
Yeah. No, if we move on from there, then who's been the standout for you? If I said young player and then a more experienced one, give me some names. Don't just give me one. Give me a few names from this season. Young players, experienced players.
I think the experienced players, they've done, really well. They've been key parts again. I mean, George Holland has been a key part. Michael Wild's been a key part for Connors Key. Venables has just turned into a goal-scoring machine, at Bala. So the experienced boys have really been, holding their own and playing vital parts in the championship, the championship running. So as experience, I don't think there's many more influential this season than Wild, Horan, and Venables.
And younger players, ones that you've seen coming through.
Yeah, I've got a number of young ones come through. I think there's a couple of great fullbacks at Penabont, Miles Davis and Kane Owen, done really well. Ben Clark's done well for you at TNS. He's done well. He's coming on, that boy. He's coming on. He looks a better player now. I think they done well. You done well in sending him out on loan and giving him game time. I think game time is absolutely vital to these youngsters. I think if you're going out on loan to Carnarvon and you're getting 25 games, it's better than getting 6 or 7 games as substitute for the top clubs. That's just the way I see it. And he's learned his game. He looks good. Like the young Evan Press is doing well down at Barry. Sean Bradley, I think, has done really well for Carnarvon again. I like the goalkeeper. I like the goalkeeper at if he could like really come to the fore with his handling. I think the boy Byrne at Connors Quay, he kicks the ball he kicks it like a Premier League goalie. And the lad, a couple of youngsters down at Haverfordwest have done well as well. Jack Wilson, Ben Forsett, Corey Shepherd, they're a good side, mate. They're a good side. So right across the league, the youngsters, to get, I think we have to say it's a good league, Scott. And even now you've finished and you're out of it for now, right? You'll have plenty of time to look maybe at other individuals as well, apart from your own. I know you always did anyway, but you just might see that little light now that says, hang on, he's good enough for the league. I've done that for bloody years. You know what I mean?
No, it's right. When you are in it, you're consumed by it. You don't get much time to reflect and whatever. So
you don't.
You'd have come out of it. You've been a big part of it as a manager and whatever, and long years of being a manager, coach, whatever. And then all of a sudden you're not in it. You take a different view on it. Having said that, I did go and watch a game on last weekend, and it's good to be back watching football again, to be fair, in a live environment.
Yeah, do you know, I watched Connors Quay the other night, Connors Quay and Barry down at Jonah. Wow, it was hectic. The touchline was hectic, right? And players were having a go, but it was a type of game, right, that you would go into a pub after and you would have an hour to talk about. And I think that's what we've all been missing. You know what I mean? The excitement of the fans to see it actually happening. That's why we need fans back as well.
You miss it. You play the likes of Barry and their fans come down and stuff. And, yes, it's an empty stadium and you're grateful you're playing again. But when you have got those fans, it does make it better, Likes of when you go to Carnarvon away and there's 1,000 people there, brilliant. It's what the Welsh Prem needs and continues to need to have, I suppose.
Yeah, well, I think, Scott, that if we did get up, to bigger crowds, if every club could get 1,000 fans, this league would jump miles higher. It's brilliant. I think it's been fantastic this season, and it has improved. But just give me 1,000 fans at every game. It'd set it alight.
Yeah. Okay, going away sort of from current, looking at your managerial career. Do you miss being in charge of a group of players? Do you miss being that person that they look to, the leader and things like that? Do you miss the training and then going into match day on a Saturday?
I did. I definitely did, Scott, when it first happened. You're in and out. You're in and out of the game like yourself now. It's just a time where you might be out. Now I had the sack twice. And then I came back, luckily enough, and really enjoyed myself again. So I just think it's like a part of life. It's like it happens. No one's perfect. No one's going to have an Alex Ferguson career, are they? Right? So you just got to, it happens and you just come again. But did I miss it? I really missed it when I came out. But when I'm doing the television work now with Scott, and you sort of build yourself up, Scott, almost as a player. You know what I mean? You look forward to the game, you do all your stats and everything, and you go to the game and you enjoy the game, and it's like you're wanting it to happen. You want an excitement and everything. So a little bit of me, selfishly, I'm sort of still involved in the game in a way I want to be involved in the game.
Yeah, I suppose it is. I suppose you get used to, being that coach, then you come out of it, and then you get other sort of avenues to pursue, don't you? It's one at the moment where I'm looking for different things to do, and I've always liked watching football. I'd watch any game on the television, and as long as you've got that to sort of occupy you,
Luckily enough, I've been lucky enough, Scott, to manage the Wales C team as well, right?
Yeah.
And I was regularly in touch with you with that, as you know, and that's just been absolute. That's been brilliant, brilliant, great coaching, coaching staff.
And that's kept you sort of alive with things. You've had a break and then you've had that as well,
Yeah.
haven't you? So what's that been like? What was that like as in terms of managing those players compared to the ones that you'd had in the Welsh Prem?
Yeah, obviously, most they were all Welsh Premier players, but it was different because I got players coming from different managers. So you've got to learn quickly, haven't you? You've got to learn quickly in a short space of time. I suppose in regards, that's what international managers do, but they have time. We had 4 days twice, and it was absolutely fantastic. I think you've got to make the atmosphere right. You've got to make them feel wanted. You've got to make them happy, and you've got to exactly the same. You've got to drive them on and get them to try and get a result. Nothing ever changes in football terms in that way. But I got to say, and I think the players and the staff, I had Dave Adams, I had Owen Tudor, I had Kendall as well, right? And they were brilliant.
All good lads, yeah.
That's key, mate. And if you go, it's like when you join a club, right? You walk through that door. If you're made to feel welcome and you start enjoying it, right? What a lift that gives to you as a player, as a person.
Yeah. Well, they say now, don't they? It's 70% man management, 30% tactics and stuff like that as well. So that's the players look up to people that they respect and that show them that respect as well, I suppose. So.
Oh yeah. Man, yeah, I think for a couple of years it might have gone under the radar a little bit because the game might have gone staff crazy. You know what I mean? And if you might have somebody making 6 or 7 massive 50-50 tackles for you, right? Match winning 50-50 tackles, and they were vital to you. And you go in the office on a Monday morning, and somebody else have made 30 tackles or haven't really counted, and he's getting a massive tick off you. Well done, you made 30 tackles. And the 7 who made the crunches, the match winners, they ticked the wrong box. So it is great stats, right? But you've got to have a bit of realism about it. You've got to have them people who's going to go through things for you that not all the time are perfect.
Absolutely. Just looking at when you managed, who were the leaders sort of in your dressing room? The ones that you probably looked to build the lads up and stuff. Players in your time.
Well,
Port Talbot, good characters in your dressing room. Who did you?
Great characters. I made an important one, Scott, and this is when you were playing in your prime. When I went to Carmarthen from Port Talbot, I loved Port Talbot at the start of Port Talbot. I was at Maesteg Park first in the Welsh League. I started with my local club, Grange Albions, which was the greatest time, as a player in the South Wales leagues. And then I went to Maesteg Park in the Welsh League as a player manager. Really enjoyed that. Played you in a semi-final up at Aberystwyth. Were you playing that day when you beat us 2-1 in about 10 minutes to go?
I think so.
Yeah, most probably. I think I can remember you laughing on the way off, right? And it's just that was just a fantastic start. But then when I went to Port Talbot, really enjoyed it. And then when I went to Carmarthen, you talk about players. I thought, I'm going to have a good think about this. And Gary Lloyd come available from Barrytown, and Tony Pennock was at Carmarthen. Remember Pens, the goalkeeping?
Yeah, both of them.
And Lloyd. And one thing sticks in my mind, Scott. We the first season, then we played Rill in the League Cup final, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, mate, you didn't make it, right, that season. I don't know what happened, right? Right? But it was us and Rill. And we're like 2-0 up or something like that with 10 minutes to go. I'm on a touchline, and I'm still going absolutely berserk, right? Because I'd never sort of crossed that line, right? Gary Lloyd is alongside me about 5 yards away from me. He takes a throw in his own, by the penalty area, and he turned around and went to me. He went, what is the matter with you? As I'm barking at him, right? He said, what is the matter with you? I said, I go on berserk. And he put his 2 hands, his 2 fingers by his mouth like that. He said, light the cigars up, boss. The cup's on the way. Right? I swear. And I learned from that day, I think, you have to have some sort of winning mentality.
Absolutely.
In your
Leaders, character. Yeah.
Yeah, I learned loads from that. You have to I think you have to have a winner in your changing rooms. Everybody wants to be a winner, but it's great to have actual winners to help the others get over the line.
Do you think that's missing in this current culture?
I don't know. It's hard for me to say that because you've got like a team, TNS with loads of league winners in it. Connors Key have got league winners, but I think leaders, actual leaders, like we can go back to a long time ago. You know, your Graham Souness at Liverpool, your Roy Keane's at Manchester United, and you know, like you said, people in our league. And I think it is missing definitely because a good leader on the park and somebody who gains respect from them players is sometimes worth two players. You know that.
Yeah, absolutely. There's been some good characters, managers wise. You know, I always still speak to Kenny now. You got on well with Kenny, didn't you, Kenny Mack?
Oh.
I'm sure we'll have him on very soon.
You've got to. He'll wait for the stakes to go up a bit. Mine, Scott. You know what he's like.
When you're talking about that, I remember Kenny would have his hat on. He'd be up on the gantry. The game would start within about 30 seconds. I might have misplaced a pass, and he'd look down at me, he'd snarl down at me, and go, "Come on, lad, you can have a go today." And I'd be like, 30 seconds into a game, he's on at me straight away. But he was on at me all the time in training. He used to call me testimonial because he said, "Look, lad, you look like you're playing in a testimonial." And I'd be like, "Well, it's just the way I am," you know. And he'd go on and on. He was brilliant for me because he had that winning mentality, like you say, and he signed some great players because he knew how they'd fit.
Oh, mate.
Some quiet, some unassuming, but some real big characters, and you know he's been great. So.
Oh, mate, do you know, on about Kenny, that semi-final we did get to on my stag, and this is a long time ago. This is like in 95 or something like that. And we played a week before, right, in the Welsh League First Division, up the South Wales Valleys against somebody. It might have been Tom Penter or somebody. And it was lashing down, absolutely lashing down. TNS were playing on that day. They were actually playing on that day. But I looked across the park, right, and I said, I can't believe what I'm seeing over there. This is like 200 miles away, right, on a Saturday. He's over there, like you said, with his bobble hat on, over in the corner by himself, because he gave us the respect coming to watch us first. And that's not just one thing to get in there, Scott. Do you know live games?
Yeah.
If I had £1 for every live game I went to, right, I would be in the Bahamas now, mate, right? But it's vitally important, I think, for a manager. You see, at present, you know, I think Morrison pops up everywhere, right? I just think it's worth, somebody said to me once, if you can see a team the week before you play, it might be worth a third of a goal.
Yeah.
Right? And then third of a goal adds up, don't they?
It's vital. It's seeing them in the flesh, and it's seeing how they warm up, seeing how they, you know, just a lot that you can't see on the television. You know, I think it's great. Okay, good. Who would you like to listen to on this podcast then? Anyone that you think would share some good stories? I'll put it there on Twitter. I put it out there that a few people were saying about Liam McCreesh, Rhys Griffiths, Mark Lloyd Williams, Kenny.
Great.
So any other ones that you think that I might miss off, that might have some good stories to share with us and the viewers?
I just think they'd all be, you know, it was a great characters, and like you said, we've been in a long time. There were some great characters. You know, I think you'd be, I guess, some of the real legends, the players who people just they were just. I'm not saying they were unsteady, but they were great to have around the place. But only one thing, Scott, is them type of players, like you said, the ones who the characters. You know yourself, like you just said, it's no good having a Scott Roscoe if he's laid back. If you haven't got a Kenny McKenna type of player because they usually bind together, don't they?
That's right.
Do you remember? I just tell you the one there. You're on about characters. I thought this was one of the best ones. Remember Gary Twynham, the kid who come from Man United, and he came to Port Talbot for us, and we played you a couple of times.
The name does ring a bell, and
it was in your early days. So he was, what a character, right? What a brilliant character. But I went to meet him. I was manager of Port Talbot, and went to meet him up the valleys in like this cafe up the valleys. I got to meet him. Somebody set it up for me to go meet him, and I'm talking like money now of how we can afford him. I never forget his answer. I said, "What are you after then, Gar?" He said, "Not a lot." I said, "Well, what are you after?" He said, "I'm not really interested in money." He said,
"You
want a Porsche?" He said, "I'll have a Porsche." I was manager of Port Talbot, right? I was manager of Port Talbot. The meeting was over. The meeting was over in about 10 minutes. But he came and played, and done well for us, done brilliant for us. Yeah. But like we said, it's about characters, Scott. And this league have seen a lot of great characters over the years. You know, a lot of great footballers. I think it's some of the greats in the league. You know, have gone under the radar as great players. I'm disappointed a few of them never might have, you know, maybe got higher regard in a way. I remember Stephen played, didn't he? Stephen Evans, and he was fantastic for you, wasn't he? Like, what a mountain he was, right? What a player! But didn't he get a Welsh cap about 2 months after he left you?
Yeah, I think it was getting a little bit of publicity at Wrexham, wasn't it? You know, moves to Wrexham and slowly making a name and then getting his Welsh cap. But you know, was he totally a different player than the one that TNS?
That's what I say. Sometimes
that's what happens. It's a shame for the league, really. But
yeah,
you know, Gary Lloyd coming from, where was he at the time? Barry, wasn't he?
That's right, Barry.
But apart from that, how many others? You know, obviously people have been in the Welsh Prem and moved on and then gone on to
that's a. But I'd love to. I'd love to see. Yeah, I'd love to see. I'd love us to like create a number 9, say for TNS, for Connors Key, for Port Talbot or Carmarthen. Create a number 9, and bang, go somewhere and make a real big name for yourself, and really set the football league alight and get international credit from this league. There's been lots of good players that have moved on, haven't they? You know, even you can name, I could probably reel off about 10 that have gone on to League One, League Two, Conference. Brilliant.
You know, look at Christian Joy. You know, been at, what was he, Carmarthen, wasn't he? He's doing fantastic now. He's doing well now and banging the goals in. Yeah, I think more credit has to be given to the league because people look at it and you know they have their say on it. But I tell you what, there's some good players on it, some good coaches, and I think it needs a little bit more credit at times because people don't actually see it until they come and watch you play, or they talk to you and say, "Tell you what, you're not a bad side, are you?" Or "Tell you what, I watched so and so play, and they're not bad, are they?" I say, "Well, yeah, it's go and watch it and get, you know, do your scouting and do your due diligence on the league for a start." Yeah, well, that's right. Well, the last game we played with our Wales C game, you know, we played the conference. You know, supposedly the prime of the conference, and we drew 2-2 with them. So that just tells me our league is not a bad league. There's some great players in our league. We've always, listen, you'll always back our league. I'll always back our league, right? But I just hope it carries on in the same vein it's going at the moment, because I think it's on an upward curve. Definitely. Are there any players that you managed at the time that you thought, this lad will go into coaching, this one will go into management? Could you just see it in the sort of the way they acted, the way they maybe asked questions about the way you were doing things? Yeah, I think so. I think there's a lot of them around at the moment. I mean, Griff is managing, and I just think Griff always had that determined attitude, very determined attitude. Listen, one of the biggest mistakes I made, I mean, Griff left me at Carmarthen because he wasn't playing regularly, and then went on to be, you know, one of the best strikers ever in this league. But what a determined attitude, you know, he's got. There's a lot of my players at Port Talbot have gone on to do the same thing. But I just think it's just, you've got to go in there, and if you can,
You know, do it your own way. It's tough, Scott. It's tough because, like, if you're not as a professional footballer, I think it becomes sometimes twice as hard because you've got to work players even harder for them to start believing in you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know,
I've seen it. I've worked, you know, alongside players, and I think they can, you know, they've got the right attitude, they've got the right knowledge. You can just see that they're going to go on and hopefully do well in management, do well in coaching and things like that. So
yeah,
hopefully they stay in the league as well.
Yeah, I think that just the main thing is, Scott, you know, you've got to enjoy it. You know, I mean, you've had your number 2, and you had a long time, you know, as a manager, and it's a relatively long time you were there, man. You know, people think only, how long were you there, Scott?
This season would have been the 4th season, yeah. So
yeah, that's made modern day. That's a long term, minute. But you know yourself, or you've got to go in. You know, you've got to trust your number. Your staff is vital, absolutely vital to you. You know, you get your staff for you, then you win the players over to you. And if you could get a football team, a happy football team, it's never going to be happy all the time. Never going to be happy all the time. You're going to have your ups and downs. But if you get that some sort of family bond amongst your club and your players, you know you won't go far wrong. As long as as long as you're all looking after each other, should we say?
Right. Looking at the modern day, then, are you Messi or Ronaldo? Which one are you? If you had to choose one for your team,
only one, is it?
Choose one, yeah, and why?
Well, Scott, I've always debated. I think Ronaldo's wonderful, and his all-round ability is fantastic. He's one of the best. I seen him score that goal when he jumped against Wales in the air. That was phenomenal, the way he jumped for that, and he's done that year after year. But I just think Messi's a little genius, and when if you go back through everything, I know he hasn't won the World Cup with Argentina. I think Messi's a little genius. Best player I've seen play live, or the best player who've made me stand off my seat, is Gareth Bale.
Yeah,
I watched him about 7 or 8 years ago down Ninian Park with my mates, about 5 or 6 of my mates, and we're all 50 then. I'm just trying to knock a couple of years off, and we're down the stadium watching, and he picks the ball up just outside his own half, Bale, or inside his own half. He drives past, and we stand up. It's tipping down with rain as well. We stand up. He lashes it in from about 35 yards out in the top corner, and we're all jumping like on top of each other, 50 plus. And one of the boys went, "Oh, cool down, boys, cool down." Like, you know what I mean? He did it, mate. At that one time, I think he was right up with it. Yeah, okay, maybe not Messi or Ronaldo, right? But there wasn't a lot better than him. And well, he was the dearest player in the world once, wasn't he?
Well, yeah. If you look at him now, he's scored a hat trick the other day, in and out of Mourinho's team.
Yeah, listen. I think because the pace was just so vital to him, and he was electric, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Right, but as a Welsh person, right, watching him perform for Wales, and okay, it might be a sentimental vote, but I don't think I've seen anybody better live to light up a game.
Yeah, no, very good, brilliant. So, what about growing up? People that you looked, obviously, you liked football from a young age.
Yeah.
Who did you inspire to be like? Who were the players that you thought they're the top players? A few top players that you could mention.
3?
Yeah, 3 top players that.
Okay. Pele. I'm a lot older than you think, Scott. Right? Pele. Franz Beckenbauer was class.
Yeah.
Oh, what a player. Always bought the German kit every Christmas, my mother and father, for me. And I was after my Welsh kit just because I wanted to be Franz Beckenbauer. What a player. And, he glided, mate. And there was prize goes to a little red-headed Scotsman, Sir Billy Bremner. Sir Billy Bremner, right, was my favourite ever player of all time. Because
seen footage of him, watched him, yeah. A lot of people.
I know. Listen, he was more like Souness. You know, he's more like Graham. Souness was brilliant as well, but he was like you said, he was a captain, Bram, and he's captain of. Then they were a brilliant side, Leeds United, but he was just, when I was a kid, he was my idol.
Yeah. Who did you support?
So, who's the fourth?
Who did you support growing up? Who was your team?
Yeah. Guess. Billy Bremner. Sorry, but it's your age, isn't it? Leeds United.
Leeds United, yeah.
Leeds and Cardiff.
I was thinking you were going to mention a Welsh side then.
No, Cardiff City.
Yeah, but
Cardiff boy. I used to watch the City when I was a kid all the time. Still go and watch them now. You know, yeah, but they're my own. You know, they're my own team, Cardiff City. So yeah, I love all. You know, I like all the Welsh teams, but Cardiff, my own town team. I love to see them do well.
Oh, good. So last little bit, as a manager, what would you say that your 3 non-negotiables would be? What you wouldn't stand for?
Yeah.
Manager from your players, you know, what 3 things? You might have a couple, but things that you just wouldn't let the players get away with.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Can arrogance be a good or bad thing sometimes? Maybe too much arrogance can be a bad thing, I think.
Yeah.
Thinking you're better than the rest of the team that's a no for definite. You know, you're not getting away with something if the other 14 are not getting away with it. It just don't rub. It don't happen. Otherwise, you finish straight away.
Would you deal with your best player in a way that might be to the detriment of the team, to show the rest of them that it's about the team? Or in the past, have you sort of let things go because you thought, we need to win this game?
Yeah. You'd like to think not. There's always a little bit, I think. There's always a little bit of, I think give and take is, right, how far your give and take goes. That's the key. That's the key, because, you might have that training session you might go in a new club, and you might go in on a Tuesday night and think to yourself, right, I'm really going to set an example here now. Anybody who misses training will not play on a Friday night. Then one of the boys' babies are bad. On a Thursday night training, one of the boys' babies are bad. You're going to pick him on a Saturday? Of course you're going to pick him. So don't set anything too much. Don't set anything in stone too much, right? Give yourself a tiny bit of leeway, as much as they have a bit of leeway, but don't let anybody overdo it.
Yeah. So you've got that one there, then you've got arrogance. What about things like timekeeping?
Yeah, just
are they important to you? Timekeeping and stuff like that for training, for matches, meetings, things like that. Yeah,
I think it's down. That's it. It's just down to being, respectful to each other, isn't it? If you're gonna, if your star player, it might not have to be a star player. If it's your player who's number 14 every week and he's turning up 20 minutes for late, you give him the first week, you give him the second week, you don't give him the third week. Come on. I will give you rope, but don't hang yourself.
And any more that you just have to have as the leader, as the manager for the group?
Yeah, is it easy? I mean, we'd all like to say it. I most probably it's respect, isn't it?
Absolutely.
You'd like to think they respected you. You'd like to think they'll work for you, and that's when you work together to get success for the football club. I think that it goes hand in glove. That.
Yeah. Good. It's been nice chatting to you, Jonah. I think we've covered
great, Scott.
A lot of stuff there. If there's anything that you've got, any little anecdotes, any memories, anything that you think that the viewers might like to join. I know we're looking at maybe a family sort of podcast or whatever, but is there anything you'd like to share from your time, that any little stories, or not that you can think of? You can always put them into other people's chats or messages or anything like that, but anything off the top of your head that you might think they might like listen to?
I don't know. I just think, like I said, it's been a glorious time. Glorious time. One of the highlights from my career was went to the European draw, obviously again I'd been there with Carmarthen. I went there with Port Talbot this time, and I was in the room, Scott, when you drew Liverpool. I was in the room when you drew Liverpool.
Yeah.
So I think sorry, the one with Port Talbot. I made a mistake. Sorry, it was with Carmarthen when we got beat in the final by you 1-0 down at Llanelli. Can you remember that one?
Yeah. Wasn't a classic, was it, Jonah?
Wasn't a classic, mate. I tried to do a bit of a Thomas Tuchel on you, whatever his name is, but it didn't work. And you snuck one with about quarter of an hour to go, right? But I remember, first of all, that was like first ever Welsh Cup final. Really built up for it. We come out to the stadium at Stevenheath. You walk out and we walk out, and we line together for the anthems.
Yeah.
And Doherty, Gerard Doherty, he hit the deck laughing. Your goalie. They played the Irish anthem, didn't they? You can't remember that, can you? What had happened? There was a schoolboy game on there a couple of weeks before. So, like, okay, you lot have been in about 25 finals, right? But this is me and my boys that come out. It's like we're standing like 6 foot tall, and they start playing the Irish anthem. So Doherty, he was in can't remember that? Jed, wasn't it?
Yeah.
In stitches. And when we went to the draw after qualifying, and went in a draw, and they drew TNS will play Liverpool. Well, I reacted like I was Ken McKenna. You know, I jumped up and down like a lunatic. And then on the way out, we said, I seen that, and this is straight up now, Scott. Remember Rick Parry? I think he was a chief executive at Liverpool.
Yeah.
So I wasn't too slow coming forward. I said, all right, Rick, how are you doing? And he looked over, he said, hello. He said, I said, tough draw, son. Right. And he went, pardon? That's tough draw at TNS. And I had a business card in my pocket, right? And I went, if the gaffer needs any help, I said, here's my card. They only beat us 1-0 in the cup final.
You're right, yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, just enjoyable times like that, enjoyable times and memories which will stay forever.
Yeah. We were, I don't know whether you can remember, that the highlights, I think, were on Sky Sports of the final. Can you remember that?
Yeah.
I think we travelled back and the highlights were on Sky Sports, and I was in the pub and mates were all in there watching. It was like, there wasn't much action going on, was there? Well, I don't think there was many chances. The pitch didn't look great, and they were like, "This is on Sky Sports. You could have done a bit better than this." Like, so
yeah.
But no, it was always good playing against your teams, Jonah. Tough going down to Port Talbot. We knew we were in a game, you know, and it was. I enjoyed it. Like I say, we could do with a few more teams and stronger teams in the league like that. You know, it's it can be. You know, it's with the old league without playing, you know, each other, and then having that sort of that second phase. We had a bigger league, didn't we? You know, and there was, you know, even like the teams like Paul and teams like Llanelli, Neath. You know, we miss those Welsh sides.
Yeah, of course we do. And listen, it might get stronger. It might get stronger. You know, there might have been maybe better individuals. There might have been better individuals. Who knows? And it's time only tells, don't it? But I think it's got stronger. The league's got stronger. You know, as a league with standards and everything. You know that you've got to be a pro licensed coach to be in a league now. All the players, you know, they got to be. The training, I mean, the least anybody trains now, I think, is twice a week. Yeah. And you've got to be fit, Scott. I mean, maybe 15 to 20 years ago, you might have been able to get over a game with injury or anything like that. I don't think we can anymore. I don't know what you think about that. I think the levels of fitness now are right up there.
Absolutely. Everyone's got GPS. Everyone's watching games on stat. You know, people are having scouts going to watch other games. It's improved since I came into the league with Newtown. Never mind, you know, TNS. Newtown, 1998, maybe I came into the Welsh Prem. You know, I remember playing on them pitches here, Latham Park. Obviously going to Port Talbot, Carmarthen, the pitches. Now you've got perfect bowling greens. 3G pitches, coaches that, like you said, have all got pro licenses. It's improving, and hopefully for the better. So
yeah, long term, Scott. I got I got hopes for it. I'd like to think long term it could go again. I'd love to see 6 or 7 clubs maybe affording almost full time in about 5 or 6 years, or maybe in a long time, it could go full time. That would be my ultimate thing. I'd love to see it go full time. Obviously, you've got to have benefactors.
Yeah.
You obviously got to have many benefactors and a bit of luck, but I definitely think it's on the upward curve, mate, and it's improved.
Good stuff. So I'll just leave you with there's 2 games left. Connors Key going to win the league, you said, or TNS?
Well, like I said at the beginning, I think with 2 games to go, they're in the box seat now.
Yeah.
And I think they got Carnarvon on Saturday, and they got Penabont away. They're both tough games, but they just seem to have toughed it out. And TNS have still got 2 tough games. I think Morrison said at the start of about 3 or 4 weeks ago, he said, you've got to respect all the other teams. And they've done that already. Carnarvon had a brilliant 0-0 away from home, and Bala defeated Connors Key. So it's all still in the melting pot. But I think with two games to go, if you're 2 points ahead, you fancy yourself to get over the line.
Could go down to goal difference, possibly.
Yeah, of course it could. Of course it could. And then, it's, the new Saints would have it then. But it's been a tremendous battle. I've got to say, Ballard have got in Europe again. Third. Done well. And just to finish on, Scott, if I can, the playoffs this year, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to spin the coin, Scott. The playoffs are going to be Penabont, Bally, Carnarvon, maybe Newtown, or at the late point it could be Cardiff Met. Fancy anybody?
6. I just had a look at the league table. Yeah, they could Cardiff Met still do it because of 6 points? Yeah, they could. If
they're 5 points behind.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Newtown have had a good second phase, haven't they? They've had a very good. They've got goals in them. They're playing consistently.
But they're playing below the top 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. But teams have done that. Cardiff Met did that 4 or 5 years ago when they did Europe.
Yeah. But it's interesting. So, it's a good way to do it, having that bottom 6 there, having something to play for. It's important, and as it's proved in the last few years, it's been very worthwhile for them.
Oh, definitely, mate, definitely. Just to see it, it's vital. It's vital. It's it's quarter. It's 240,000 euros to that season through, or season and a half through for some clubs. So it's vital, and I do like the playoffs. I love the playoffs. It's a great way to finish.
Good. Last one. Player of the season. Who do you think is up there for player of the season? Give me a couple.
Yeah, player of the season. I'd go. I think with Connors Key to win it, I think Michael Wilde will come close.
Yeah, I
think he has to be up there. Venables again, Golden Boot.
Yeah.
With Bala has to be close. I think the two fullbacks have done well. Like I said at Penabont, were they to get into Europe? Miles Davis has done very well, I think, the right back there. And Kane Owen's done well. There's a few of them around the place have done well, but the battle could be between the main 3, I think, who we said earlier on, that maybe it might be a veterans trophy this year. It'd be between Wild, Venables, and maybe George.
Anyone from TNS stand out for you?
Well, obviously you've had a decent season. Again, you're right up there, aren't you? You're still competing. You might win the league. I think Clark has come on, like I said, leaps and bounds.
Very good.
Yeah, he's come on leaps and Danny Redmond's done well.
Yeah.
Danny Redmond's done well. I think he's done tremendous. He's got a lot more aggressive the last couple of years, I think, and really looks after himself as well. Was he always aggressive, Scott?
Yeah, good in the tackle, strong, excellent trainer.
Yeah.
First class. He's one of them more quiet, unassuming lads, but in terms of training and games, that could play left back or central midfield.
Yeah, he's been tremendous. He's been tremendous all season, and I think Chiselvich has been tremendous. You know,
He's gone on another level, really.
The league's most assists. Yeah. Of course, your star man most probably has come back a bit late, haven't he, Brobble? He's got, I think that he's got 9 goals in something like 7 games. So
maybe if he come back a bit sooner, I wouldn't have been sitting here now.
but who knows, Scott? Hey, who knows, son?
Hey, everything happens for a reason, Jonah.
That's the way, mate. That's the way.
Thanks a lot, mate, for coming on. Appreciate that.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure, mate.
I'll be in touch soon. Thanks a lot, though. All right.
Scott, it's a pleasure, mate. And good luck for the future, mate. All right.
And you, mate. I'm sure I'll see you soon.
Cheers, Scott. Thanks, mate. Bye.